All right, y'all. So this is Black Ink Crew New York. This is season 6, episode 12. So we know that oh shit is on his way to Atlanta. He called a flight, and before he touched down, he finds out that Nikki uh, got released from the hospital. So, he's able to, see her at her house and everything. So he shows up to her crib and, she says that the baby is okay. She was just scared and, because she was there by herself and the contractions were like 5 minutes apart. But, they gave her some medicine to, try to slow the labor down and everything. And we see them, just interacting with one another, trying to make strides on obviously, working things out amongst, themselves. So meanwhile, back in New York at 113th, oh shit texts C's to let him know what was going on. And C's let everybody know, man, ain't no baby. It was a false alarm. And of course, everybody starts to get skeptical in everything because, they feel like Nikki be lying about shit or whatever. And you guys know that I'm not too like about Nikki. I'm not too crazy about Nikki or whatever. So I understand where they coming from or whatever. And Skye, she presents the facts of the couple of times that Nikki has lied or seemingly lied on this show from last season or whatever. And I was like, I mean, Skye, I understand what you're saying, but you the last person that need to be talking about somebody lying after all the havoc that you done caused amongst the group in Korea and shit, okay? But anyways, so and then also too, they were saying that they feel like the baby is not his and everything. And I understand. I do. I understand them being skeptical or whatever because it's like, she did come out of nowhere like, huh, hey, I'm 8 months pregnant and, da da. And all this time he didn't know about it. And all this time he been in New York and everything. So I can understand them being skeptical about that or whatever. So anyways, so Bay, she comes in or whatever and tells them, I'm getting married and everything. And, they was like, oh my God, just all excited or whatever. And, they ask her, so when is the wedding? And she was like, in 2 weeks. And they like, say what now? Donna, she like, I mean, shit, like, that ain't enough time for me to, get a dress and, get my makeup together. I mean, figure out a wig because we know Donna got 50 million wigs to choose from. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, I mean, come on, girl, don't be selfish like this. I ain't trying to be looking toe up now, okay? So, Bay does, I mean, not Bay. Donna suggests the idea of the girls from Black Ink, to help Bay find the dress for the wedding or whatever. So, she's cool with that. They cool with that. Cool. So, we go back to oh shit and Nikki in Atlanta. And, she's in labor. She ended up going into labor anyway. And they end up having a baby girl. She's small, but she's healthy. I'm just not going to get too like riled up about their situation because I do remember hearing that they storyline be just for TV and shit like that. So I ain't about to get my dander up about they shit at this point. But anyways, so Walt, he's on the date with the Ashley girl or whatever that Jada hooked him up with. And they're at the bar or whatever. Well, he's at the bar waiting for her. And then she comes and she brings her pet turtle. And I was looking like Walt, like, you really bringing a turtle to the bar? And she was like, I mean, what? She didn't have a babysitter and she's sick and all this other stuff. And, they're about to, play some of the games or whatever that's in the bar or whatever. And so he's like, well, why don't you put her on the pool table? Let her, relax on the pool table and everything. So they're playing some game or whatever. And, as Ashley is turning around, the turtle hits the floor or whatever. And, she's like, oh my gosh. And, she's rushing to the turtle and everything. And she wants Walt to come and kiss it, to kiss her boo boo. And I was just like, like, I was just like, just looking like, girl, what? Like, I was just so confused, just so perplexed, like, what the hell, okay? But anyways, so she ends up kissing the turtle and then tries to kiss him or whatever, and he like, you trying to, kiss me with the turtle juice and everything, like, yeah, I ain't trying to have no bum bum. The next day when I wake up or whatever. So, she goes to use the bathroom and everything, and he decides, he ain't feeling this no more. He said, yeah, I'm about to just go head on and skedaddle. And I can't even really blame him. So we have Bay and the girls. The girls being Donna, Jada, Melody, and Kit. They all are there, to help Bay find a dress and everything. And, I think they ended up finding one or whatever. And so, Mel, she's like, has Rob got his suit yet? Or something like that she was asking Bay. And Bay is like, well, see, the thing is, I haven't told him yet. And they was like, huh? And Mel, she was like, well, shit, did you tell him you was pregnant? Because, Bay lately, she just been having a bad habit of not telling him about shit. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of ambushing him a little bit. But, she has this idea in her head that he never says no to her, and he's going to give her what she wants. And, she has this thing in her head that guys don't give a fuck about weddings, about weddings anyway. I mean, granted, they always say that the wedding is more so for the female, or, for the bride. It's kind of that ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. It's, that kind of vibe or whatever, because, everybody really kind of does come to see the bride and everything, to see what type of dress she's wearing and all of that, so, but some guys do give a fuck, some guys like to have input on, their wedding and everything, so, yeah, it's not all guys, but, anyway, so, she ends up, she's at the corner store. She's at the corner store with Rob, picking up all this stuff that she just got cravings for and everything. And, she's like, just like how she slid in this pregnancy to him, she's going to slide in, this whole getting married in 2 weeks situation or whatever. So, they in some aisle or whatever, and she kind of slides in the fact that they're getting married in 2 weeks, and he like, say what now? And she's like, well, I mean, I don't want to be fat, I don't want to be a fat bride and all this other stuff. And of course he's not with it, and I knew he wasn't going to be with it. Rob don't even seem like that type of dude. Rob really does seem like he likes to, he likes to be involved. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew he won't gonna be with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, no, we gotta plan stuff. We gotta definitely plan for the baby and everything. And he was like, I want, an actual wedding here. You know what I'm saying? And she's sad because he said no, but this conversation ain't over with or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, she's like, you never tell me no and everything. And I was like, well, girl, he just said it. Girls kill me when they be in relationships and, they so, I guess, used to they dude saying yes to them all the time. And then the one time they say no, they be like, you never say no to me, girl. Well, he just said it. Now. He your boyfriend, not your father, okay? But anyways... The shit just cracked me up, though. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When I be seeing shit like that, it be, like, semi-cute to me. But at the same time, it be like, okay, girl. But anyways, because, I mean, like, fuck. Sometimes guys say no. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, us as females, I mean, granted, we don't always like it. But you can't act like a baby about the situation. But anyways, so, then we have Skye and C's meeting up at a restaurant or whatever. And he's like, listen, I've been kind of brainstorming on how to approach Genesis or whatever. And he's like, I think I should take him out, show him the Apollo and, all these other places and take him to chase some girls. And Skye, she's kind of like, yeah, I don't know about all of that. I kind of changed my mind on the whole thing. And, he's like, what? And she's like, listen, I don't want any more complications with the situation or whatever. And, Cease feels like because he's an outsider, he might be a little bit more open with him and everything. And sometimes that is the case, when it's an outsider coming in to the situation to try to mediate. The person is more open to discussion or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Skye is just like, well, no. Cease has said, well, I'm gonna talk to him anyway or whatever. And Skye, she's she gets up because she's like, no, man, because you're not listening to what I'm saying. And and in this moment, I kind of did understand where Skye was coming from, because it's like, although yes, we know Cease is trying to help out or whatever. I mean, it's like, this is a very sensitive situation. This is a very delicate situation. So, I mean, it's kind of like, if Skye changed her mind, she changed her mind. Don't try to, force the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I understand her kind of being upset with him about that or whatever. So then at 113th, I guess it's like the next day or whatever, Skye, she buys some beer and everything. And they like, what's the occasion or whatever? And she's like, I kind of blew up on Cease a little bit and I just kind of want to make up for it. And she feels like maybe she kind of overreacted with the situation, but she just don't want to, she don't want to, she don't want him to talk to Genesis at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So, Cease, he gets a FaceTime call from oh shit or whatever. And I told you guys earlier he had already had the baby or whatever. See, I kind of, changed stuff around in my notes to kind of accommodate, storyline by storyline. But earlier in the episode, at this point, when Cease got this this FaceTime call from oh shit, Nikki still hadn't had the baby yet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, he was telling her, he was telling Cease about how they gave her meds and all this other stuff. And, Skye, she, like after they get off the phone with him or whatever, Skye is like, as far as I'm concerned, there ain't no baby. Until I see a baby and all this other stuff or whatever. Walt feels as though she probably stuffing, her shirt with pillows and all this other stuff. And it's just like, okay, y'all, come on. Like, the girl really is pregnant or whatever. But anyways, shit pretty much tells them that he is getting back together with Nikki and all this other stuff. And Cease, he lies and says that he's happy. And that's all you can really do is just say you happy for him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so but like I said, not gonna give it too much time, because from my understanding, this shit ain't even real with them. Like, all this shit that they going through ain't even real with them. But anyway, so Cease, he takes Skye to the back or whatever to have a conversation with her. And he's like, listen, I contacted Genesis. And she's like, what the fuck? After I told you not to and everything or whatever. And he's like, listen, you need to get this hurt off of you and close this chapter, because I'm tired of seeing you self-destruct here. And she's trying to lie and say that she's fine at first and everything. And he's like, no, you're not, man. And he just kind of pretty much convinces her that this is a good thing to do. So it's the day that Cease meets up with Genesis, and Skye picks him up in the car or whatever, but she's going to drop him off. And she just doesn't know how it's going to turn out. So he meets up with Genesis and everything, and pretty much is saying how there's different sides to the story, and then there's the truth. And, as Cease is talking to Genesis, he notices that Genesis is like sizing him up or whatever, as they having the conversation. And he's just like, he's just like Skye, because that's some shit that Skye would do. You know what I'm saying? And Cious just wants to make amends between them two. And Genesis is like, well, you're not the person I need to talk to or whatever. And I don't even know how to feel about this situation at this point. I kind of feel like we shouldn't even be talking about this situation on camera at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, this sit down, I feel like shouldn't even had happened on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's just a very sensitive, thing. But we gonna get there as we get, in the conversation. So, Cious is like, listen, the shit with you and Skye, that's y'all thing, but I want to build a separate relationship with you and kind of, take him under, his wing. And, Genesis is like, I don't know you like that. Like, I don't want to build no relationship with you or whatever. He's like, he wants people to start being real, people being his mother. You know what I'm saying? And, Genesis asks Cious, would you give up your kids or whatever? He's like, you got a daughter, right? And Cious is like, yeah. And, Genesis is like, would you give up your daughter, or whatever? And, Cious is like, never. You know what I'm saying? And, Genesis feels like, when you go through some shit, y'all go through it together. So I guess he felt like no matter what, Skye shouldn't have gave him up and everything. And it's just like I said, if some of the stuff that Skye is saying is true, I just kind of wish that there was somehow, maybe some way, I don't even know how they could have some type of conversation at this point, but I just kind of wish maybe somehow, some way, maybe they could just have just some kind of conversation where he could really hear her out, and maybe it'd be a mediator there. You know what I'm saying? To just kind of help them both sort out their feelings on this matter, But I understand, I empathize with how he feels, because I can't imagine how that feels to, be adopted and everything, because, I had my mom and, my dad. You know what I'm saying? So I can't imagine, how that feels or whatever. So I empathize with him. And of course, coming from his perspective, him being the child, all he sees is, you gave me up. He don't really care about the reason. All he knows is you gave him up. You know what I'm saying? And Cious is like, ever since he's known Skye, she's just been trying to readjust her life to, meet him and, his brother or whatever. And, Genesis is like, how many days you need to get your shit together to come and, talk to us and this, that, and the third. And I could understand Skye feeling like maybe she don't want to interrupt their life or whatever, because she did give them up. But at the same time, maybe she could have tried to keep some kind of contact with them too over the years. You know what I'm saying? And help them get a better understanding as to why things happen the way they happen. Genesis, he moves the table at one point, the table that's between him and Cious, and Cious is like, hold up, And I don't feel like Cious was like scared or nothing like that. I feel like he was just like, cautious, because he knew, from the last situation between Skye and Genesis, he, was kind of like, like, oh God, I hope this, I hope, I don't have to sit up here and fuck this little nigga up, and then I gotta go tell my best friend I had to fuck her son up. You know what I'm saying? During our sit down. I mean, who wants to go and tell their best friend that they had to fuck their son up? You know what I'm saying? Because they was getting out of line, But, so yeah. But he moves the table to, I guess, to just get more on the level with Cious and everything. And, Genesis starts to get emotional, and he never forgot the day that, she just walked away and never looked back. She raised him for 6 years and then just, gave him up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I could understand him feeling some type of way about that, because, 6 years old, yeah, you kind of do, remember a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And, who your mom, definitely know who your mom is at that point. And, yeah. So, Cious is like, listen, but, you still angry about the shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And Genesis is like, listen, how am I angry? I didn't hit my mom that day, and I didn't really want, I wasn't going to hit her. If I really wanted to, I would have. I wasn't going to hit my mom. And I was like, oh no, you kind of, you had me scared a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. But he's like, well, it's time to talk to her, you know what I'm saying? And Genesis is like, I was in the jail, watching her get all this new shit done, get her breasts done, get her vagina done, get her ass done, but she can't come talk to me and see what, and understand what I'm going through and all this other stuff. And C's is like, listen, you got to talk to her and see what happens. And he's like, do you want to talk to your mom? And, Genesis is not sure and everything. And, that was, like the episode, y'all. Like I said, it's just so many different, like, thoughts and emotions going through my head with this situation. Like I said, I don't even think this shit should have even played out on TV like this. I think this should have been like an off-camera conversation. You guys, let me know your thoughts. You guys who have kids, let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. And if you could see it from different perspectives or whatever. But like I said, that was the episode, you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, share the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, y'all.